Hello everyone, this is my crazy cat, but today I want to speak on basically keeping promises with yourself, and this has to do with setting goals in life, in business, and even in your habits, so habits, goals. Now one of my goals in habits is waking up at 8 a.m. consistently each day and going to bed at 12 p.m. strict consistently each day. And the way I keep track of this is by a piece of paper that hangs on the wall that is in front of me, of my bed, in front of my bed. So whenever I wake up at 8 a.m., the time that I'm going for, I put a big red cross on a little square. There are all this like a table of squares, and every time I don't wake up on time, I put a no. And basically what I'm trying to do is create streaks for myself. In fact, let me show it to you real quickly. It's a very simple thing. So this is it. So the red crosses, let me see if I can put my finger there. The red crosses mean that I waked up on time, and the no's means that I don't. And now, as you can see, I'm still working on this. So yeah, that's basically how I keep track on this. And one thing you have to be very careful of when you're setting goals is that if you fail at achieving whatever you want to achieve, even the small things, your self-esteem is going to suffer, because in reality you're just breaking promises with yourself, so it's going to erode at your integrity. Now you have to realize integrity is a word that is almost not used anymore in this time that we live in. This is based on some Google data, because they have data on what type of words people use in this day and age we live in. So integrity with yourself is very, very important. And so, like I said, you really have to be careful about this, because if you set goals, you keep breaking them, it's really going to affect them. But on the other hand, if you keep completing your goals, even the small goals like habits, your self-esteem increases. Because as you just saw, I'm still working on that shit, and today I succeeded, so I feel so much better about myself. That's also why I'm making a video, because I'm feeling confident, I want to share something. And the reason why this is so, it has to do with your brain. Jordan Peterson has actually explained this already. Now, I don't listen too much Jordan Peterson, because I think he's just very repetitive and very boring sometimes, and also very biased in his views. But he's a smart guy. He's the smart guy of the average person. But in any case, he explained how when we set goals, that our nervous system, or at least our reward system, maybe it was that, is starts to optimize itself based on the goal you have. So the hormones and the chemicals in your brain that are being secreted by the glands will become based around whether you are moving towards your goal or whether you are taking step backs from your goal. So you're moving towards the goal, you get rewarded by your reward mechanism, but when you're going back from the goals, you don't get rewarded. That's why self-esteem, depression occurs, and generally just not feeling, well. And this is also why it is quite scary for some people to set goals. They're afraid of the commitment. And if you don't set goals, or if you're being very, very vague, right? So for example, I want to be rich. That's a very vague goal. It's very ambiguous. If you do this, then you're brain, and I forgot which part of the brain it is, but it is basically the very small part that it's the small brain that goes from your spinal cord. So and then there in your neck, and then above there's a very small brain, and it's a type of mechanism involved with exploration. So for example, my cat, if I cut out his brain, except the smaller stem here, like the small part, he can still function, because that's basically where all the archaic patterns like of survival reside in, but also of exploration. And when you don't set goals, you're just in this constant state of exploration, of jumping from one thing to another thing. So you basically have the shiny object syndrome. So it's important that when you set goals, at the beginning, it's important that you are open-minded, you are explorative. You try to contemplate and experiment and do your research on the best possible ways to achieve your goal. But after you have done your research, there has to come a point in time where you just pull the plug basically and just say, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to stick with it. You have to become very stubborn, right? So you have to be open-minded and stubborn at the same time. That's basically what Jeff Bezos also does. He's a very open-minded guy actually, and he listens a lot to the opinions of other people, at least the people that he thinks are worthy of listening to. But he's also very stubborn. Once he has set his mind on his goal, he won't deviate from it. And there are phases. So you have the open-minded phase. So you keep working at your goal and you arrive at specific checkpoints, and then you take a step back to be open-minded again, to contemplate and consider the possibilities, and then you work at it stubbornly again. You become stubborn again. But that's really not the point of this video. The point of this video is that if you break your goals, your habits in life and in business and in everything that you want to achieve, in success, in every domain, in painting, in becoming a poet, a musician, a scientist, a mathematician, a physicist, whatever it is. If you break your promise, your self-esteem is going to go low. Now you have two choices. Either you lower your standards or you get it fucking done.